Hey, John Gilroy here. We just interviewed Paul Tatum, who claims to be a secret agent man. Let's switch from agents to agentic AI. Hit the music, Manny. Welcome to the Federal Tech Podcast, the podcast that connects you to federal technology leaders. My name is John Gilroy, and I will be your moderator. In the studio today, live at the Ford Washington, D.C., is Nasi Jazayeri. He's EVP and GM, Public Sector, and SEG at Salesforce. Nasi, how are you?
Fantastic. It's great to be here.
Great. You want to say bad things about Paul Tatum? Let's have a half hour saying bad things about Paul.
I don't know if you're going to be a secret agent or not, but we'll see.
You probably didn't know he was a secret agent, did you?
I had absolutely no idea about that.
Well, there's all kinds of new terms here, you know. I've been to many Salesforce events, and I'm getting bombarded with the term agent and agentic. And I thought maybe we'd pull back and grab someone off the floor like you with a technical background.
Sure.
So technically, what exactly is agentic? Because some people understand, ChatGPT, I can summarize something. Okay. Now, on the other end, there's full-fledged generic AI that can actually think on its own, which is maybe another extreme. But there's a in-between way here. And so tell us about what agentic AI actually is and what it means to our federal audience.
Sure, John. Let me tell you what it means to me. So agentic AI, basically, for me, it's a digital twin of a human role. So let me repeat that. Digital twin of a human role. It's super important. Very simple. And what it does is basically you can tell it what it should do as part of the task that the role does and what it shouldn't do. So basically, it works autonomously, it can make basic decisions, and it can take actions. It has the intelligence, it has the reasoning skills to do these things. So that's basically, to me, is the agentic AI.
I have a podcast about satellites, and I've done interviews in the past about digital twins, and I found out how it originated. The problem was this. Someone would go up to a technician and go, we got a problem in outer space. And they'd say, I can't fly up there and fix it. Uh-huh. So what they do on Earth here, they'd make a digital twin, they'd repair it on Earth, and all of a sudden they'd have the fix up in the sky. So I understand the concept of digital twins. So what a digital twin can do is act as my agent and investigate on my behalf.
Exactly. So let me tell you just from my point of view, the way I interact with agencies, when I talk about AI, I talk AI as augmented intelligence. This is super important because it puts everybody at ease. The minute you talk that way, this is not about replacing people, it's about augmenting them, creating higher throughput. So that is what AI is all about for me. I give you some examples in terms of, again, decision making and so on. Just imagine that somebody is filing a claim. It could be around IRS, it could be child welfare, anything, a complaint. And so what do these agents do on behalf of a caseworker? So when you file a complaint, the first thing a caseworker is supposed to do is to make sure that all the right information are there to be able to process it. The minute that's the case, you will look at it and you decide, is it a high priority complaint that I need to take action? Is it medium or not? So you need to categorize it. And the minute you do that, the next step is, has there been other similar complaints or not? Has there been an investigation on behalf of them or not? The agent will be doing all that autonomously for you. So by the time you get to the complaint, you can already have done all this legwork for you. It has categorized the complaint. It has all the follow-up with the person who created the complaint to make sure all the information is there. It has searched the system to make sure that there are similar complaints or not. If there has been an investigation, it will create an action for you to say that, do you want to link this complaint to the existing investigation, or should I create a new one for you? So just imagine the productivity gains you get from this very simple process. Yeah. Having this agent do all that legwork for you.
So let me try to break down what you said. I was taking some notes. So autonomous task execution, that's part and parcel of it, right?
Indeed.
Context awareness, Proactive engagement. Now, that is where the money is. I think that saves time.
Indeed.
So proactive engagement means it can actually review something and say, hey, Nasi, there was a recent part of a FedRAMP specification change. And in order to be compliant, it should be so it really can be aware of different compliance requirements too. Huh?
Correct. Context sensitivity is at the heart of everything we do with agents. Without that, it's going to produce wrong results, not accurate results.
Simon Sinek says, start with why. Well, we know the why. It can help you out. John Gilroy says, start with how. So I want to start with how. So how can a system like this continuously learn and adapt to new situations?
Well, first of all, one of the things that we have done at Salesforce is we keep saying human in the loop. Every software system, if you look at it, how does it get better? Because the end users keep giving it more and more and more information to the product managers who's building it and so on. In our system, you can guide our intelligence layer, AI layer, agent layer, with feedback. You look at the review, look at summarization, no, this wasn't good and this is why. You look at the result is producing, no, that wasn't good, or it was good. So it continuously learning, interacting with end users. This is what we want out of that, and the more data you bring into the system, the richer the results will get. So those are some of the interactions that we have to provide more accurate results.
So Nasi, we are at the Washington Convention Center. I was here last week. There was a convention for satellite and space people, 16,000 people. And I would go from booth to booth, and if I could write down AI every booth, half the booths have it on there. And they all claim, and this is the big claim, is that, well, yeah, we can do that too. So what's your special sauce? How come you can make that claim very confidently? In fact, you and I, after this interview, can walk up to a booth and we can write an agent right here this afternoon.
Yeah. No, this is really important. I think we have, John, we have invested a lot of time into making sure that the system we put in place is truly working. So let's start with first. You hear from our CEO, Mark Benioff, go to our help.salesforce.com. Every day, we're having many, many transactions being answered by agents on our own help site to start with. But there are three elements to this. Number one, accuracy. Do we provide accurate result? And that, again, going back to help.salesforce.com, you can see there's high level of accuracy being answered through our agents. Two, it has to do with trust. Do end users trust your platform? Do we make sure that your sensitive information is not getting leaked out of our system? So we have built into our system masking and demasking information, sensitive information, when it goes out of our system to LLMs, as an example. Two, with LLMs, we have a contract and partnership that says you cannot save our information. So basically they process it and let it go. So people feel comfortable that their information is not being leaked out and it's not being saved outside of our system. So trust is the second one, accuracy, trust. And lastly, at Salesforce, we have built industry layer domain expertise. So we have a whole set of business units that are creating domain-specific, industry-specific application. So now the agents become domain skilled, domain expert. They understand about the domain because of all the data model of the business processes that we have built on top of Salesforce. So they have additional context to make correct decisions than you would have without that. So those are the three key elements for me.
My wife and I unplugged the TV years ago, but I remember years ago there was a commercial TV show and something like, survey says, and then you have to fill in the blank or something like that. So I want to talk about a survey. This morning, here it is, March 18th, a survey was released by a company called Salesforce, and I'll give you the opening line in the survey, and this is a great hook. So the survey that was released by Survey this morning, it says $140 billion of government benefits go unclaimed. Woo! And then you're quoted in here talking about how people are using AI to at least attempt to claim some of those benefits. So that's a practical number there, isn't it?
Well, one of the biggest reasons we're going to see AI being used is being able to find and access information in a very simple way. Why do you think 140 billion benefits are going unclaimed? Because people are having a hard time, first of all, realizing they can apply for these claims. It's very hard to find the information, but it's very hard to apply for these benefits. So they're not doing it. With AI assistance, they can find the information far easier, far faster, and the applying for these benefits are becoming much easier. So hence, this is how AI can help to address these unclaimed benefits in general.
I love these statistics from this survey. They said that, and you probably reflect, 46% of federal computer website users say it's overly complex, the application process, overly complex. And they said they would use Agentic AI if it could show it was practically applied. So I never thought of Salesforce as being a user experience tool. Oh yeah, I use Salesforce for my user experience. It's almost a UX tool.
Yeah, no, Salesforce, again, if you look at what Salesforce has done for many agencies, we are the de facto system of engagement. So this is at the heart of a lot of things we do. We try to make that user experience, constituent experience, employee experience much easier, much more intuitive. So when you are interacting with the system, it becomes simple, it becomes easy for you to be able to interact with government websites, with the process, and so on.
Now, if you call a agency and they have people on staff from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 5 days a week, well, that's great. If you have babies in the house, you may not have any time during the week, but you may have time on Saturday or Sunday night. And so one of the benefits that people like about simplifying with an AI agent is 24/7 availability. All of a sudden, that's a benefit right there, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of digital twin, is that you don't get tired.
Yeah.
You can work 7/24. So that is a huge benefit in general. And I think, again, going back to augmented intelligence, the throughput also for the people who are working 9 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 5 days a week, they get a much higher throughput and they are focusing on much higher value add than the day-to-day legwork that they were doing that the agent can do on your behalf. So everybody will benefit. It's a win-win.
Well, I'm going to give you 4 challenges that people say about Agentic AI, and you can respond. Some people say, well, I don't know, I kind of lose human connection with this stuff. So, good or bad though? I don't know if it's good or bad to lose human connection.
No, you still have your human connections. Actually, you will have a far better human connection. Just think about it. A caseworker, while they are talking to a citizen who's having a direct discussion with them, they are taking notes, they are looking for information, all that latency, etc. Imagine that all that is at your fingertips because the agent, while you are speaking with a citizen, it's getting all that information for you. It's acting on your behalf, so you have far more time to listen to what they're talking about, to ask proper questions. So I think you're going to see a radically different human interaction with agents because it frees you up from a lot of stuff that you're doing while you're talking to somebody.
I asked Paul this question earlier. I'm going to throw this question right out at you. There are many companies and agencies that don't use Salesforce, and they have people kind of freelancing. And I was talking to a gentleman in Chicago last week, Dr. John Pritchard, and what he sees happening is that maybe a smart young developer may come up with an idea outside of Salesforce and use ChatGPT or AI for something and call that innovation. And what Dr. Pritchard said is, today's innovation is tomorrow's legacy and problem. So what's happening outside of Salesforce is that human beings are desperately trying to use this data for this and that and trying to patch, and I think what's happening is they're planting seeds for their own destruction. Within a safe world like Salesforce, all of a sudden you can test out a system, but it's going to be within the standard guidelines. So it's going to be, yes, John, you can try something new, but within these guidelines. And then you're not going to have the developers yelling at you at 6 months when they can't integrate anything with that stupid extension you came up with. You know it happens.
No, exactly. Again, that's why we have a notion of sandbox, that you do everything in a safe environment. Again, that's why we have sandboxes from the beginning when Salesforce started, to make sure that everything you do, you copy your production system over to your sandbox, and you can use the real data, anything you want, and test everything, make sure things are working, and then take it into production so you don't end up with all the technical debt and wrong decisions that you have made to haunt you for the future.
Tell me about scaling, and every company has a different position on scaling. It's changes, I think, in the last 6 weeks, a whole lot. So what do you guys view as scaling, and how can you handle scaling in the future for our government?
So tell
customers?
me more about scaling. What do you mean of scaling? It has many meanings.
Okay. Let's say there are 5,000 new sensors come online, bringing all kinds of data into the Department of Interior. And it's a Bureau of Land Management and all kinds of new sensors out in Wyoming somewhere. And so can you create a system that will allow itself to scale easily, even within the agentic AI constrictions?
Indeed. I mean, one of the, again, if you look at the architecture, at the heart of our agent force is Data Cloud. Data Cloud was meant to help us scale, bringing a lot of information, billions of records, trillions of records in there at different latency. Some of them are IoT, they come real time, some of them are at batch, huge volumes, but we have built Data Cloud to allow us to easily scale. And Agentforce sits on top of it. So when you have that data fabric that helps you to automate, integrate, bring large amount of data in, then anything that above that will scale as well. And this is what we have done in terms of scaling.
Before the interview, I asked where you live. You said San Francisco. I thought of Silicon Valley. I'm reading Chris Miller's book, Chip War. Have you read Chris's book?
Not yet.
Well, put that on your flight on the way back. He talks about changes and innovation and failure, and changes, innovation, and people getting frustrated and moving to Taiwan and starting companies, and you get a better understanding of a lot of the innovation I think is taking place. But being based in San Francisco, you must be, or your company must be on top of a lot of the changes taking place out there. I mean, it's almost an hourly change going on, isn't there?
No, there is a lot of change happening. Again, you hear every day regarding NVIDIA, a new chip is coming out, and of course, just take a look at what's happening with Agentforce.
I know.
If you just see what we announced at Dreamforce and the amount of additional intelligence that has come into Agentforce since September, we're talking 5-6 months. It is amazing. I mean, even internally, we are like amazed, oh my God, look what we have done in 6 months. So the world is moving fast, we are moving fast, but the beauty of it is we are working with lots of customers. If you heard on our quarterly announcement, 3,000 net new customers using Agentforce.
Wow.
So we are learning a lot, and we are responding fast to our learnings with our customers. And it can't get better than that. Real customer feedback, keep fixing the system, enhancing the system, and but we are moving at a very, very high rate, continue to innovate.
In the federal government. So give me a 4 or 5 year outlook. When Chris Miller goes through every chapter, they couldn't predict what was going to happen. None of those companies predicted what DRAM prices were going to be. They just didn't. They couldn't. And so I'm asking you to predict 3 or 4 years down the road here. Where do you think Salesforce is going to be? And how about this rapid? Are we peaking now with the rapid change, or is it just going to? Is it going to turn?
No, the hockey stick is going to continue to go up. I honestly, I believe it's going to go faster, because the more people adopt, the more we will learn, the faster we can respond till we have a very stable system. And that's going to take a while.
Yeah.
So that's the key to innovation, is all the learning we're going to have. And for me, everything we're doing right now, it's all about low-hanging fruit. I tell all of our agencies, our customers, that don't go after moonshots. Focus on high volume, low complexity, things that you can use agents for, and that's where you're going to get the biggest bang. And in the next 4 to 5 years, that's when we're going to go after moonshots. And for me, moonshot is, even though a lot of people are talking about code generation to write code, I think in 4 years you're going to see a radically different code generation tool with agents than you see today. That's when we're going to see really the big value of the gold mine the IT is looking for, is generating code. And that's where we're going to see a lot of that, where we have a lot of systems in COBOL. How do you take that and write it in Java or in a different language and so on? Those are the type of things in 5 years you're going to see a lot of complexity in terms of the type of tasks these agents can do.
Well, we're in downtown Washington, D.C. I'm sure you could visit agencies before you leave that have COBOL running.
Oh, I have already met so many of them just today.
Just today, really? It's like they're not hiding, are they? They're proud of it. Hey,
many of them.
We got COBOL. Oh,
those
guess what?
mainframes, yeah.
You got 300,000 miles on that car there, fella.
Yep.
You're going to have to get a bicycle or something.
You got a 350,000 mile on the bike, and you're spending hundreds of millions maintaining
just to maintaining it.
That's the crazy
so at
thing.
what point someone's going to say, show me the money. I mean, where's the, how much money you put in this car?
Exactly.
But I love the car.
Exactly.
I don't care. Love it all you want.
Exactly. So,
wow, maintenance costs. Good. Unfortunately, Nasi, we are running out of time. You have been listening to the Federal Tech Podcast with John Gilroy. Our guest today is Nasi Jazayeri. He's EVP and GM Public Sector and SEG at Salesforce. Thank you, Nasi.
thank you so much.